everybody, Mr. B here and welcome to the loft. Today we are going to do a turkey breast in the slow cooker so we can enjoy some delicious pulled barbecue, guys. So let's get started. Alright guys, so let's talk about the turkey breast. There's a couple of tips here for you kids. So after the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that kind of situation, grocery stores will tend to put these on sale. All right, and you can pick them up for a bag. All right, so what I've got here is a little over 7 pounds, and I got it for $14, and it has been in my freezer. Just your standard kind of frozen young turkey breast. Now, I do want to typically try to get one that's still got some of the bones and the riblets and that type of stuff still attached to it. Versus just a completely boneless situation, because I just feel like, as always, bone gonna give it some flavor, y'all. So either way you go, though, you really can't go wrong. I just prefer kind of the bone in. So, and what I'm going for here is like you would do pulled pork in a slow cooker. I've got a video on that. I'll try to remember to link to it. But we're going to do it with turkey. We're doing this substantially similar kind of flavor profile thing that we'll have going on. And I typically will do this in 2 stages, all right? This is the day before I'm going to cook it. So what we're going to do here, this is Phoebe, by the way. Phoebe, say hello to everybody. We are going to do what's called a dry brine. So I'm going to make a rub that I'll walk you through, and then we are going to liberally cover Phoebe in that. She's going to go in the refrigerator, have a very nice night's sleep, and then first thing in the morning, we will pop her in the slow cooker and with some other things, and let her go, for about 8 hours or so. That usually is good enough. And but I don't mean to jump ahead. So anyway, before I get dirty hands with bird, right? We're gonna walk through this rub. Okie doke. Now, guys, you've always heard that it is all about the rub, and this is no exception for Miss Phoebe here. This is my go-to rub. I will link the recipe to this rub in the video description, but enough of that, let's get to it. We're going to start with a cup or so of brown sugar, okay? And use some help from the store. I have a couple of these smokehouse maple grill seasonings that are always very, very good. And I kind of use these along with that brown sugar as my base. I'm using 2 of those, okay? Next up, we are going to do about a tablespoon of some garlic powder, okay? I like to try to keep my rub recipes fairly proportionate. The only thing, maybe that varies is gonna be kind of your salt and pepper, I suppose. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, so that is garlic powder and minced garlic. 1 tablespoon of some onion powder, right? Yeah. And humidity, it's Atlanta. And then I'm going to go with 1 tablespoon of some dried mustard. Boing. And then we're going to go with 1 tablespoon of some Cajun seasoning. You could also use like a Lowry's seasoned salt, something like that. We're just going to get in here with clean hands, apparently, and get this all incorporated together nicely. I am forgetting some crushed black pepper. I am going to hold on the salt until such time that I have this incorporated and I can give it a taste. Why? Because the smokehouse maple grill seasonings and that Cajun seasoning is going to have a pretty substantial amount of salt in it, and I don't necessarily, although Phoebe is a big old gal, being a little over 7 pounds and all, I don't necessarily want to have to go too far with the salt. You can always add, it's difficult to take away. All right, now I'm gonna taste it. Oh, yes indeed, that is good. It's got a little bit of kick. I'm gonna go with a teaspoon of salt on that. And that's gonna be fine. I've got salt coming through. All right, now let's take care of Miss Phoebe over here. All right, now Miss Phoebe is still just a little bit frozen, which is fine, because she's still got a night's rest ahead of her. What I'm gonna do, however, I'm gonna try to get up under the skin here. I'm sure that looks very attractive on camera, because we're gonna wanna make sure that we're getting that rub up in there as well. There we go. And we're gonna powder dry. Like I said, she's still a little chilly, a little icy. That's okay, gal. We got you. You're gonna wanna also get this cavity dried out really well. And we're gonna start to really get her going here. Now get it? Get this cavity really good. And really getting that up under that skin like that, very, very important. I'm telling you what, these gloves are just in the way. Now, when I do a rub like this, which I failed to do this time, it makes a lot, but it's just the way I get the recipe to kind of come out on itself. It's now contaminated, so it will have to be thrown away. Otherwise, get you a mason jar or something like that and pull you some off, and you can use it multiple times. It'll stay okay on you. Show Miss Phoebe some love here. Get up under that with a big old handful. Up under here. I mean, cover your bird with this stuff, guys. You've heard me say it before, turkey is bland. So I'm sorry, Phoebe, it's just the truth. So the poor gal's gonna need it as much, TLC as we can give her. With Miss Phoebe all dressed in her nightgown, she is gonna go to sleep overnight. I would say at a minimum you want at least 12 hours, but guys, really let it go overnight. It makes a ton of difference. It does not matter if this was a Boston butt. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if it was like country style ribs. Hell, it doesn't matter if it was damn chicken wings. Let them go overnight on this rub. That brown sugar and all of those seasonings will really permeate into this meat. You won't think it will, but it does. And I'm gonna catch you and Phoebe in the morning. What's breakfast? Go to bed. Okay, great. Good job, Lip. Eat your breakfast. Eat your breakfast. All I can say is that I hope Phoebe slept better than I did last night. Because, yeah. So, we've done the dry brine, and she is, she's taken care of there. So, it's time to kind of prep her up here and get her ready for her slow cook. Now, when I'm using a slow cooker for something like this, I kind of like for it to have something to sit on. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, plus, you know, there's some aromatics and all the good stuff. Get into this onion here. We're just gonna do a like rough sort of ringlet kind of thing here into the bottom of our crock. And I'm gonna use an apple because I have one. And, you know, we're gonna discard this later. So again, we don't have to be really fancy-nancy about it. And we will just get that kind of down in there. Whole bulb of garlic. Okay, and we're just going to set that down in there. We can fish this out later. Okay. Take an opportunity to do this. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Phoebe. In that. Wash your hands. Now, to accentuate the apple, and because I think all barbecue kind of needs it, we're going to go with about a tablespoon or so of some apple cider vinegar. Let's call that 2 tablespoons. It's just going to help it. And some liquid smoke. Now, this stuff, you know, a little dab will do you, if you know what I mean, because it can overpower. Maybe just under a tablespoon. And we're going to pray like hell that the lid goes on this. And there we go, Phoebe. Thank you so much. On for about an 8-hour slow situation. There you have it. I'll see you this evening. Thank you so much, Phoebe. 6 hours later, and we have got a beautiful slow cooked Phoebe here. I have took a temperature on her. She is well into the safe zone. Now, off camera, I happen to have a little bit of rosemary and some fresh thyme, so I put that in there as well. Let's get to shredding this up because I'm absolutely starving and I'm ready for a barbecue sandwich. Right, I'm just going to bring this over here. And we will discard the rosemary and the thyme. Thank you so much for coming. And this, I'm going to store it in this. I'm going to try to shred it in this. And of course, you know, this isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. Don't worry, we're going to take care of that gravy too. Let me set my garlic off to the side. I want it. I just got to figure out like how I'm going to handle that, because mushing that up in there is going to be pretty darn good too. And let's just grab some of these onions and let's see about shredding this up here. Take the opportunity to do this. Guys, hail to the, yeah, it is delicious. It's tender, it's succulent. It's not that dry ass old turkey you usually get. So we're gonna shred this up so that it'll be perfect for sandwiches. If I would let it cool for a minute, you know, I could do this with my hands. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you know, hit the subscribe button, click like, and come along for the ride. So now, a couple of tips on this. So I am going specifically for like the taste of barbecue here. So I'm gonna add some Sweet Baby Ray's up on this. Now, if you were wanting to get some additional color on it after you added the barbecue sauce, throw it under the broiler, 5 minutes, do not walk away or you ruin the whole thing, right? Because it will burn quick on you. If you were wanting to do something a little bit more neutral, right? Let's say you wanted to bag this up, which we'll get to in a minute, and freeze it and then pull it out for soups or a chili or something like that, I would simply do a salt and pepper, maybe an herbs de Provence type rub on it, dried rosemary, dried thyme, take that route, lots of garlic, maybe even a hit of lemon, okay? And that would give you a more kind of neutral, traditional kind of turkey. I would still recommend throwing the apple in it because I can taste it. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. Now, to store this, so I mean, I'm probably going through all of it if I'm being honest with you. What I would suggest you do if you are a single person or a household of two, something like that, when you go to maybe bag this up to freeze it, use the quart size bags, okay? Because that is a perfect one portion. If you throw it all in the gallon Ziploc or gallon container and freeze it, when you pull that out to thaw it, you've got to use it, right? Or lose it. So I find that to be a pretty helpful little hint, right? So I probably will put a couple of bags of this in the freezer, and then, I mean, this is, it's barbecue, but, it would still be good for a soup or stew for sure, or just a good old turkey noodle. Now, if you were going to freeze it, I would suggest, maybe packaging it up before you put the Sweet Baby Ray's on it. So there you have it, guys. This is a pulled turkey breast, slow cooker, 6 to 8 hours on low. And, there you have it. Go make your barbecue sandwich, guys. Y'all take care. See you next time.